94389. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
All right, great friends. Hey, we're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. This is Kaplan and Crew. Got Grande and the Brown Man warmed up, ready to go. You heard the story about Grande falling on his ass and sliding 20 feet down. You heard Browner go off on a Jerry Springer rant. And I said we got a lot of sports stuff we want to get to, so let's jump in. But at the end of the segment, Alex, you said by hurting your back, you felt like Giannis. You guys tell me, should we start today with the Padres winning yesterday in Chicago? Should we start with the Lakers losing in Memphis? Should we start with the Giannis post-game controversy as Milwaukee got knocked out by Miami on their home floor? You guys, should we start with the NFL draft? You guys tell me where you want to start today.
That's a great question. The draft is hard to start with. I would, because it was so epic. What happened to the Bucks last night, man? Like I would prefer to start there and get that over with.
I watched 3 total minutes of the Laker game last night.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was out. That was the most predictable outcome ever, by the way.
That was bad. That was
bad.
like
I not a single surprise that LeBron was tired and scored like 12 points.
Right.
I think if you tune into a national sports show today, the chances are that everybody's ranting some way about Giannis and his
coach
post-game press conference yesterday.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's start.
And also,
when
you talk about the Bucks coach,
yeah,
we're essentially talking about the Lakers coach too, because that's his mentor. Kind of makes sense.
All right, why don't you let me do this? Should we start with Giannis? Let's start with Giannis, okay? In fact, Alex, let's build the story for everybody that doesn't know it, because I'll tell you right now, if you were only watching the Padres last night, we'll get there. But I think you're right. I think a lot of people nationally will be talking about this, and I'd like to jump into it as well. So build the story. First of all, I don't know how Jimmy Butler, who, by the way, has been spectacular for Miami in these playoffs, I don't know how he scored this game-tying basket with like 2 seconds left in the game. I've watched it. I still can't figure it out.
That's how.
All right, let's Alex, why don't you show it to us? It's 118-116, Milwaukee over Miami. There's 2 seconds to go, and Miami's about to tie the game. Show everybody what happened.
Over the top to Butler. Jimmy Butler ties the game with a half second to go. What a play call.
Call a timeout, bud.
Call a timeout, huh?
Dude,
Listen,
move
but
the ball up the court.
Mike Budenholzer just lost his job in I don't know, 0.8 seconds, whatever was left. I don't know how dumb that coaching staff is, but they got a lot of guys on that staff, and nobody was screaming, call a timeout.
Well, let's back it up even more, Scott, because game 1 of the series, Giannis lands on his ass, misses the entire game. The Heat win.
Giannis misses the next 2 games.
Giannis out game 2, but they win that game. They score almost 140 points that game. But because they're the Bucks,
Tyler Hero broke his hand in that game.
Tyler Hero broke his hand in that game.
Their second best player.
But because they're the Bucks and they're the 1 seed, they're probably confident that they're now going to go on and win this series because they just won game 2 without Giannis. So let's give him an extra game. Let's let him rest up a little bit more. And what happens? They don't win another game. They lose the series. They lose the series 4-1. They are the Heat are now the first ever play-in team to win a playoff series.
Are you saying, though, that organizationally they made a decision to rest Giannis more than they probably should have?
Yes.
Because and is that like common knowledge? Is that like public?
Yes.
That the organization has said, hey, we're making the choice to sit him out. He could play. If this were game 7 of the finals, he could play, but we're holding him out because we feel confident.
Yeah. I don't think they've come out and said that, but it's pretty obvious that he fell on it.
That's the common working theory.
He could have played, yes.
The theory is that he had 6 days between game 1 and 3, and he just had a sore butt.
So let me get back to the actual play that we just ran. Jimmy Butler totally shoves Pat Connaughton. Totally shoves him. Now, that's a great shot to be able to shove another grown man against his will, catch a ball midair, and then make the shot. That's a spectacular play by Jimmy Butler. But if, again, I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, if I'm the coaching staff, I don't challenge that play. Like, what's
they have
happening?
a challenge left? I don't know.
As I was watching the game, no one brought it up, so I'm assuming, I'm hoping that they didn't. But there are so many errors because Giannis played great, but I got to hold him to the same
but he
standard.
also did it.
I got to hold him to the same standard I will hold LeBron James because I want to be fair to LeBron in this. Because if LeBron did what Giannis did last night, I don't give a damn how many points you scored. I don't care how many rebounds you had. I don't care how many assists you had. You lost the game because you missed the free throws. All these free throws. I think it was 12, 13. 13 missed free throws, and he fouled a three-point shooter. So if LeBron had did all these things, no one would be talking about the points because they'd be irrelevant. Because one, you lost 4-1. And in addition to that, you stunk it up at key moments in the game. So I got to hold Giannis to the same fire I would hold LeBron or KD because he's on that level. He stunk last night, and he lost the game.
You also missed. You also didn't start off with saying the fourth quarter, the Bucks were up by 16 points to start the quarter.
It was all gross.
And then they went and got outscored 32-16.
I mean, it's hard to believe because I'll tell you guys this: when the Lakers got into the fourth quarter, and they had pulled in the third quarter, they pulled it to 1 point, and then all of a sudden Memphis went on this crazy run. I was like, dude, sit LeBron, sit AD. You got to get home and win on Friday. You can't let this thing go to Game 7 and go back to Memphis. Point being, I mean, I know we were talking about the Miami-Milwaukee series, and then you threw in LeBron, but I mean, I never thought the Lakers had a chance to come back in the fourth quarter, and you're down by 16 and you're Miami and you make that comeback. I mean, I know you guys are talking about coaching mistakes and maybe, coach losing his job, but man, that is brutal.
Yeah. So let's get to the real story here because we're burying the lead. The game is the game. You can do this to any game in the NBA playoffs. And by the way, the NBA playoffs have been amazing.
Incredible.
Amazing.
And by the way,
almost every series.
Dude, we're only in round 1.
I know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the NBA playoffs is an extra season. It starts in April and ends in June, dude. This is a long time to go.
So here's the story, though. The story is that Giannis goes to the post-game press conference, and here's his team that was the number 1 seed. They were the favorites to win the championship. They had the best record in basketball, okay? And they get knocked out by Miami, who's a play-in 8 seed. And Alex, you mentioned the history
I believe
of all that.
They are the first play-in team to win a playoff series.
Okay. So Giannis is at the post-game press conference.
They're also the 4th 8th seed in NBA history to beat a 1 seed.
Right. He's the kid. He's the face of their organization, one of the faces of the NBA. And I guess some reporter asks a question that has now turned his answer into a whole controversy on social media of some people saying, yes, Giannis, that's the answer. Screw that guy. Terrible question. And then there are other people like, he's soft. He's just soft. Here, you decide. Here's Giannis in the postgame.
I just asked Bud the exact same question, but I'm curious for you. Do you view this season as a failure?
Oh, my God. Okay, because I'm not that up. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get a promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, provide a house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success, And if you've never, I don't want to make it personal. So there's always steps to it, Michael Jordan played 15 years. Won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure? That's what you're telling me? No, I'm asking you a question. Yes or no? Okay, exactly. So why you asking me that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. There's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful, some days you're not. Some days it's your turn, some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win. Some other people's gonna win. And this year, somebody else is gonna win.
Wow.
That's great.
Wow.
That's
How
great.
old is he? How old a kid is he?
He's in 20s,
20
late 20s.
some. Yeah.
I mean, what an answer, dude.
28.
What an amazing answer. And what I love about the answer is it's so candid
Mm-hmm.
and it's so
Honest.
real. It's so real person. You know, in other words, he's not just sitting up there answering questions about basketball. He's actually in some ways giving you, as a very, very young man who's had a lot of success and is quite worldly based on being from Greece, living in the US, in a city like Milwaukee of all places. You know, he's got a lot of experience to bring to an answer like that. And I got to tell you guys, I disagree with parts of it, but I love the eloquence and the thoughtfulness of the answer. I thought it was really, really entertaining.
This might surprise you coming from me, but that answer, show it to little leaguers, show it to AYSO kids, show it to YMCA kids. Get that garbage away from me in my professional sports.
There you go.
Sorry, dude. There is
you go.
failure in sports. That
There you
is
go.
literally the name of the game.
Yeah.
You either win or you fail. When you are,
It's-
if you asked the
it-
Los Angeles Dodgers and their fans last year if it was a failure that they lost in the first round to the Padres, the answer is yes.
Mhm.
When you are the 1 seed and you are the best record in the NBA, when you have the best odds to win the NBA title and you lose in the first round, that is a failure of a season for
how
a
about
team
this?
because in sports, expectations matter.
Yeah. Well, but dude, how about this? How about you're a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament? You get knocked out by the 16 seed. You're a 2, you get knocked out by the 15. You got that high and you thought you had expectations of getting to a certain place and you set goals and you didn't get there. And by not getting there, that's known as a failure. By the way, let's say you start a business and you've got this brilliant idea and you think you're going to make lots of money. And then all of a sudden you're like, this isn't working and you bail. That's a failure. But then all of a sudden you come back and you go, I learned lessons and I know what I did wrong and I know what I'm going to do next time I get a chance. And then you do, and you accomplish goals, and that's a success. And that's how you tell the difference. So I loved what Giannis said because I love the thoughtfulness of it. I love, like I said, the way he spoke so candidly. But in sports, are Michael Jordan's seasons that didn't turn out to be championship seasons failures? I think Michael Jordan would say yes. What do you say, Brown?
Failure is the measurement of who is doing the succeeding or the failing. So to him, no, it wasn't a failure. To him, no. To a fan, yeah, because they had a different expectation than he had.
Oh,
So-
you think his expectation was to get knocked out in the first round?
I don't think he expected to get knocked out in the first round.
Do you think he expected to win the championship? They were the number 1 seed.
Mhm.
They had the best record in basketball. They have championship pedigree now. Do you think that Giannis expected to win the championship this year?
I would hope, as a competitor, I would hope he did, yeah.
You just
Okay, and
said
then
before that Mike Budenholzer is going to get fired. If they
Yes.
didn't have a failure of a season, would he be fired?
I think you were going to fire Mike Budenholzer if they didn't win the championship, yes.
So if the fan expects the championship
Mm-hmm.
and the player expects the championship,
Mm-hmm.
aren't their expectations aligned?
Again, success is different things to different people.
Well, okay, you see, you're bringing up something super interesting because if I were Giannis and I were making $45 million a year,
Because listen to his answer. Because I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to say this before it spins out of my mind. Listen to his answer. He looked at the man and said, "You work. Do you get a promotion every year? It is not a failure. But do you still provide for your family? Do you still put a house for your parents? Do you still take care of the people around you?" So his measure of success is maybe wildly. Did he want to win a championship? Absolutely, because that's why he's playing. But to him, it may be more value
And
in.
that's like, yeah. I've heard
may
that
be-
too, Browner.
It may be more value in it for him to be able to take care of his family, his parents, his
well, that's
brothers.
right.
Because
That's
like
right.
professional athletes in life are not failures.
Correct.
Right. There is not a single professional athlete in any sport that is a
That is
failure.
a failure
Like
at
they have
all.
been winning their entire life to become a even the bench rider, is
You know,
still
even
not
the
a
even
failure.
the guy who no, it's the guy who's got the story, like like an Austin Eckler who wasn't recruited out of high school and played at a small college and wasn't drafted and made it and made money. That guy's a success story.
Yeah.
Giannis is a success story.
I disagree. I'm in the same line as Alex. Every professional athlete is a success story. From the number
I
one
agree.
pick to Mr. Irrelevant, the
I
guy Brock
agree.
Purdy.
But I don't
Like,
think the
I
question was
agree.
Giannis, are you a failure? The
No, but
question
that's
was
just it.
Giannis, is this season a failure?
Right. And
but
so
he
Giannis,
answered as if he were the question.
yes, and he said at one point, I don't want to get personal.
Yes.
It's as if he accepted the question personally.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
hey, bro. I'm asking you, do you as an individual player, as the team leader, do you think getting knocked out in round 1 by a play-in team on your home floor, do you think the season is a failure? Giannis, again, smart and thoughtful and eloquent. Giannis took it as, am I a failure? I'm not a failure.
Right.
I got a house for my parents. I take care of my family. I go to Chick-fil-A and get a 100-piece nugget. The whole deal.
I got
Isn't
wife,
it-
I make babies, I'm good to go.
But isn't it an interesting thing? Because do you think, I mean, just speaking of now success versus failure, do you think that what's the guy's name from Fox News that got fired this week? What's
Tucker
the guy's
Carlson.
Tucker Carlson. You think Tucker Carlson feels like a failure?
No.
I mean,
hell no.
because he got all this money.
But the thing
this
is that
money.
the line that got me, and I'm
Yeah.
sticking, it stands out to me when he said there's no failure in sports.
Yeah.
Literally, that is the definition of sports. You win or you fail. You win or you
And-
lose. Failure,
the-
loss, same word,
Right.
Like
the way you win, the more you win, the more you make.
And I agree
the
with
more
Browner
job
and
security you
the
have, et cetera, et cetera.
expectations and the self expectations and satisfaction is different for every single member of that Bucks team. The guy that made the team barely, or the two-way player, the G League player, like he had a successful season because he was riding the bench for the NBA team. He wasn't at the G League.
Correct.
But I'm saying there is a massive failure. The Bucks 2023 season is a failure.
No doubt.
Because if they
No
got
doubt.
to the conference semifinals, okay, we can have that discussion. But when you get dropped in the first round like that, 4-1 by the 8 seed in professional sports, that's a failure.
But it's amazing to me how like people have come to Giannis's defense. Not that everybody
Because
needs
it's
to pile
Giannis.
on, right? Not that everybody has to
That's a
pile
whole
on
other
and beat
thing,
up on
too.
him. I know, but like Mark Cuban or Charles Barkley, like these guys.
Oh,
who
Browner,
now,
you wouldn't be so nice if LeBron said that last night.
Let-
You wouldn't. You
All right,
know
well,
you
hold on.
wouldn't.
No,
Wait,
I-
hold the thought for a second, because listen, let me just at least mention one of our great sponsors, and then we'll keep going on here. Browner, I'm just going to say it again. This is the thing I want to promote the most. You and Lawhead comedy show a week from tonight at 7 Mile Casino. I'm going to host. These guys are doing comedy. Alex created the menu, and the ticket all told goes like this. It's the salads, it's the pizzas, it's tax, tip, comedians, and $25 in match play, so that when you go to the tables and you put down 25, they give you 25. Browner and Lawhead comedy show. You guys said come down to South County. We're coming down to South County. You guys said you wanted to get the great friends together. We're putting the great friends together. And very few tickets remain. So use Venmo on our website. But if you have a Venmo issue, Alex, show it to him. The email is show, SHOW, at kaplanandcrew.com. Show at kaplanandcrew.com. If you want to reserve a seat and we have to figure out some other payment method, we'll figure it out. All right, there you go. So Browner, this whole thing about Giannis, like why do people why is Mark Cuban and a Charles Barkley, why are they so fast to rush to Giannis's defense in all of this? Why is that question, do you think the season a failure? Why is it accepted as like a personal attack on Giannis?
No, so let me. I just want to I will answer your question, but I got to get to this guy's statement first. Okay. LeBron James has people who will die on the hill for him regardless of the subject. Okay? He's got a monster group of people already doing that for him. So that's why he has so many detractors. Giannis doesn't really have a lot of detractors. So when something like this happens and people jump on him, you're going to have people defending him more than being a detractor of him because he doesn't live in that space. So people feel like that they need to protect him.
Why? Why does, and by the way, I want you to keep railing on this, but we are up against the break. I want to know why. Why does Mark Cuban, who I love Mark Cuban, why does Mark Cuban feel this need to knock the reporter for asking what we all seem to think is a legit question? And we all love Giannis, but we all disagree with his whole point about wins, losses, failure, success. All right, hold on, everybody. Browner's about to go off. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, and it all transfer right into the Lakers. This is Kaplan and Crew.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and YurView, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
An ADU is accessory dwelling unit, and it's become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lambert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
This is the Rugby Odds, where an unlikely pundit panel of a wordsmith, a WWE legend, a rugby star, and a supermodel scour the globe, seeking best bets and bad behavior. Are you not entertained?
Since 1975, San Diegans have trusted the Murray Lambert family for their home remodeling projects. We continue our commitment to deliver high-quality home remodeling and construction to our customers without an expensive showroom.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring value to your home, our team has the experience to handle everything. Plus, our strong relationships with the city makes adding on easier for homeowners.
Visit murraylambert.com for your consultation.
The #1 disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermouth.com and check out all the educational content. And of course, check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and YurView, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Listen to The Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com. We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew Show on the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
After an accident, you could be faced with a maze of confusion. There are medical bills, lost time at work, not to mention taking on the big insurance companies alone. But with the Barnes firm on your side, they can help you get compensated for your troubles. And they'll help you get the best result possible. Call the Barnes firm now at 1-800-8-MILLION for a free consultation.
The number one disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermouth.com and check out all the educational content, and of course check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
We're adopting dogs from local shelters, training them for post 9/11 combat veterans, and we're able to donate these trained dogs to deserving veterans in need. Service dogs can range anywhere from $15,000 to $35,000, $40,000. And for someone getting out of the military that's seeking support and help, having that sort of price tag is daunting. So we really wanted to be able to support the veterans to make sure that they're getting a dog that they need in their life at no charge.
I was in a very dark place. I was having suicidal thoughts, and I really needed an immediate help. We don't know if tomorrow is going to be there for us. So I found Shelter the Soldier online, and I reached out, and somebody contacted me within 24 hours. And in the next couple of weeks, I was already in the program meeting dogs.
YurView Community Spotlight is brought to you by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Flood.
An ADU is an accessory dwelling unit, and it's become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lambert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
For many consumers, sleeping at night should be an easy experience. For many, it's not. There are a number of reasons for that. Most notably, those that suffer from acid reflux or heartburn. There are also many individuals dealing with various pains or ailments. Medcline is a sleep solution company with our goal to allow people to have a healthy and peaceful night's sleep. And we do that with our therapeutic side sleeping systems. Our patented, clinically studied Medcline relief systems are designed to place an adult in an elevated side sleeping position, which can help them reduce the symptoms or issues they're dealing with. Medcline systems are registered with the FDA, and as a medical product, Medcline systems are qualified for use with FSA and HSA funds. For anyone looking for more information, you can visit medcline.com/sleepbetter.
I was injured in a car crash. I had no idea how much my case was worth. I called the Barnes firm.
When a truck hit my son, I had so many questions about his case. I called the Barnes firm. It was the best call I could have made.
Your case is often worth more than insurance offers. Call the Barnes firm to find out what your case could be worth. We will help you get the best result possible.
The Barnes firm. Injury attorneys. Call 1-800-8-million.
The San Diego Children's Discovery Museum is a children's museum that serves San Diego County. Our area of focus is children between the ages of 0 to 10, but primarily 0 to about the ages of 7. We teach children in an informal, experience-based environment, specifically foundational fluencies, social-emotional learning, and purposeful play.
We started PNC Grow Up Great in 2004. It is now a $500 million bilingual early education program, all focused on reaching young children from birth to age 5, with a particular emphasis on reaching low and moderate income children to help prepare them for school and life.
And we've been looking for partners, and that's how we got to the San Diego Children's Museum. They specifically have a new mobile unit where they bring STEM-related educational services to kids that can't make it to the museum.
We both believe in bringing innovative platforms of learning to children all over the county.
I think I'm going to build a castle.
An ADU is accessory dwelling unit, and it's become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lambert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
Learn about the many health benefits of MedCline pillows, from easing shoulder pain, reflux relief, and just getting a great night of sleep. Watch Your Health only on YurView, Sundays at 4:30 p.m. Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better.
The #1 disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermouth.com and check out all the educational content, and of course check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
From New York City comes America's longest running and most popular rugby show. The biggest names in Major League Rugby, MLR highlights, and big match previews. Rugby Wrap-Up presents MLR Weekly, made in New York City.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
All right, great friends. Hey, we're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. We were talking about this Giannis controversy that I think the entire country is going to be talking about today. We're jumping into it. we'll transition into the Lakers and the Padres. And I actually want to talk a little bit of college football in advance of tonight's draft. We'll get to all of it. But Browner, you were saying that people have to defend Giannis. Like what I listen, let me reset it for everybody. Anybody who's just joining us right now, Alex, you want to replay what Giannis said so that we can reset this and then Browner can explain what he's saying?
I just asked Bud the exact same question, but I'm curious for you. Do you view this season as a failure?
Oh, my God. Okay, because I'm not that up. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay.
Eric.
Do you get a promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, I don't know, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success, you know. And if you've never, I don't want to make it personal. So there's always steps to it, you know. Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure. That's what you're telling me. No, I'm asking you a question. Yes or no? Okay, exactly. So why you asking me that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. You know, there's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful. Some days you're not. Some days it's your turn. Some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win. Some other people's gonna win. And this year, somebody else is gonna win.
So that's been these controversial statement. And when I say controversial, I mean, is it really controversial? That's his opinion.
Correct.
You know, but I see Mark Cuban defending Giannis on social media, which is I'm taking a shot at the reporter. It's a terrible question. How dare he ask it, et cetera, et cetera. Giannis, you go, brother, the whole thing. I see Charles Barkley last night kind of defending the same way. I'm just surprised. I mean, I felt like we as Americans are so over competitive and winning is everything. And if your team loses, hey, San Diego State, you guys made it to the championship game. Loved you guys. Awesome. Have a little celebration down at the stadium. Let people show you the love. Okay. Laugh at everybody. Oh, they didn't win, but they're going to have a parade. You can show your team your love. They didn't win. We get what Giannis is saying, but is San Diego State's season a failure? Well, they failed to win the national championship and they were in that game. Do we all look at it as a success? Yeah, it was great. So why does everybody have to defend him, Brown?
Because of what the very nature and what you're saying is why people have to defend him. Because there are people who will tell you that San Diego State failed. What they did was a failure. They made it all that way and they didn't win. So they failed. And so some people will see the season as a failure because there is this American thing about if you don't win, you failed. So therefore, in his eyes, like he said, there are steps to winning. There are steps to being successful. Because you don't win every year doesn't mean you failed. You are learning to be successful. His Michael Jordan analogy was perfect, but wrong person, because Michael Jordan would tell you he failed the times he didn't, the 9 seasons he didn't win a championship. So that's probably not the best person to ask that question about. But people are
like Dan Marino's career. Was Dan Marino a failure because he never won a Super Bowl?
Was Charles Barkley's career a failure?
Right. Dan Marino's in the Hall of Fame. Charles Barkley's in the Hall of Fame. So these guys are Hall of Famers because they were great individual players and they never won championships. Were their careers failures? No. But did they succeed in achieving their goal of winning a championship? No, they did not. Therefore, they failed in that particular effort, which is why the question is so fine. It's fine. It's benign, the question. Was this season a failure? Yes, this season was, or no, I don't think of it that way. We may not agree with his answer. Some people do, some people don't. I just happen to love the answer.
Here's a personal question for you. As a football player, was your career a failure? I would say no. Let me answer before you answer. I would say no, because you did what 1% of less than 1% of the human population gets to do. You got a chance to compete on the NFL level.
Okay.
Of every person who picks up a football, millions of kids.
But John, I can look in the mirror and say I tried my best. I gave it a shot.
And that's
but I never made it to an opening day roster. I was in 3 different training camps. I had multiple opportunities, but I never succeeded. My career as an NFL kicker was a failure. John Carney's career as an NFL kicker was a huge success. He played 15 years, 20 years. He scored all these points. He won all these games. I mean, my contemporary.
Did he win a Super Bowl?
He has a Super Bowl ring from playing with. Yeah, but my point is that there's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with what's wrong with failing?
There's nothing wrong with failing. But what my whole point in the discussion is, the success that you gained to the point of failure is far more important than the actual moment of quote unquote failure. Because without the success you stacked to get to that point, the failure doesn't exist.
All right, I don't
keep that same energy when we talk about Ohtani later this year.
I don't know what we're talking about here.
That loser out of here. Now,
exactly.
That's a loser.
Exactly. I think the more that I listen to you two talk, because for me it's clear and dry. I don't agree with what he said, whatever. But the more I listen to you two, the more that you two talk about his answer and the more I've seen people's reaction to his answer, that answer should go down as the best answer ever given in a post-game press conference, because he didn't even answer the question. He made it about life and he made it personal without making it. He's like, I'm not going to make it personal, but let me make it personal. He literally turned the discussion into, what is failure? He changed the entire narrative of the actual question. The question was very cut and dry. Was this season a failure? But he turned it into, like you said, Scott, first of all, I'm offended that you think I'm a failure. And now let's talk about failure in life. So I think it was one of the most brilliant, articulate answers in the history of post-game press conferences. It might be the best answer I've ever heard. The more and more and more that people talk about it, the narrative has nothing to do. Did the Bucks fail? I'm talking about the Bucks as a season. Everybody else is talking about, well, you know what? What is failure? And that's why I started my first thing I said was show that to little leaguers, show that to kids, because that's what they should really think about is what is a failure in life. Strive to be whatever, but as a professional athlete in professional sports, yo, dog, the Bucks failed. That's
right.
simple.
That's it. It's really a win-lose.
But
business.
I agree with everything Browner's saying. I genuinely do. I agree that the journey and the steps and the process of getting us to the 1 seed and winning X amount of games and all this other crap. Sure, I agree with it. The lessons learned and all this stuff. End of the day, I see 4-1 in the standings. So
right, and you see a number 8 seed beat a number 1 seed, and the first team to ever play in and then win a playoff series.
I'm just genuinely like the thing that kind of got us in a
pretzel
here was like, imagine, Dylan Brooks gives that answer after losing to the Lakers. Like, you think everyone's going to come and defend him and say, what a brilliant answer.
It's like you said about LeBron. If LeBron James,
well, LeBron's so polarizing. I should have never even started with LeBron.
No, but if
that dude can say 2 + 2 is 4, and people are like, no, I don't know.
But I think your point was that if LeBron James said what Giannis said, people would be like out of their minds.
Yeah.
And Giannis has turned people into terrible questions. That's the thing that bothers me, though, is why knock the reporter? The guy asked what most of us consider to be a legit question, and in supporting Giannis, you have to knock the reporter. I don't like that. And I think in many ways, I think Mark Cuban's piling on, in fact, I would say he's starting the pile. So,
well, in sports, there's winners and losers. There's villains and heroes. There's bad guys. There's good guys. There's fan favorites. There's people we hate.
You think Mark Cuban thinks that the Dallas Mavericks season was a success or a failure? You think Mark Cuban thinks that the addition of Kyrie Irving was a success or a failure?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand what you're saying about a lottery pick. I got you. All right.
Depends who you ask, right, Browner?
Like,
There you go. There you go.
All right, hey, bring it home because I can tell you guys this. So last night for me, I had the Padre game on over here, and I had the Laker game on over here. And believe it or not, I even had a little bit of the Knicks and the Cavaliers at one point. But I was trying to watch the Padres and I was trying to watch the Lakers. So since we were into this basketball thing,
Knicks fans throw a parade?
I don't know that if
Okay.
they have or haven't.
Every win, they like close the streets down of Manhattan.
It's a thing because it's been so long since these guys have been here. You know, for everybody that calls Madison Square Garden the Mecca of basketball, it's not. It's been the Mecca of terrible basketball for all these years.
Knicks haven't been good my entire life.
Right. So don't ridicule them because you know what they do? They ridicule us. Oh, look at the Padre fans. Oh, what
I'm
did
just
they
giving
do?
it
They,
back. That's
they just
literally
beat
what
the
I'm doing.
Dodgers.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
literally what I'm doing. Was giving it back because it was COVID, had a nice little series, first playoff win in forever. You know, that's all I'm saying.
I understand.
It's when it happens to you, you kind of understand it.
Mm-hmm. Well, just go back to the Lakers here for a second before we get to the Padres. So the Lakers lose last night, and like you said, so predictable. You see LeBron. This is the overtime game on Tuesday or Monday of this week. You see LeBron spent, you know, and then you get to this game where you got to turn around and travel and hustle back. And the game that LeBron helped them, you know, win, that he kind of carried them, the overtime game, he played well or came up clutch, however you want to define it. And Anthony Davis gave you 7 points in regulation and 12 overall. And the Lakers get a win when Anthony Davis doesn't have any sort of offensive performance. Last night, the opposite. Anthony Davis has 30 plus, but LeBron has a measly like 13. And the other two, the guys on the other side, John Morant, and what's the other kid's name? Desmond Bane, dude. That guy.
Phenomenal.
I mean, he's unbelievable.
He's
so
earning
they're
himself
two
a nice
stars.
little paycheck.
Right. So their two stars had huge nights last night. The Lakers' two stars did not. And these kids, by the way, as soon as that game was over, they weren't talking about, hey, we got to go do this. They were like, we'll be back for game 7. We will go out there. We're younger. We can recover faster. We will go out there. We will win that. We'll see you guys back here on Sunday. I mean, they were kind of brash about it, I thought. I can't blame them. But they haven't won in LA all year.
I really feel like last night's game for the Lakers was probably one of the reasons why people have such trepidation about them. Like LeBron I don't even know what to call what he did last night. Like he had 15 points, but last night is a definition of I could get 15 points in my sleep. Because that's what he did. Whatever LeBron James did last night, he can say, I could do that in my sleep without even trying. Because it really didn't appear that he tried out there. I don't know if he was gassed or he was tired. But I would tell LeBron James, look at what Miami did to Milwaukee. Do not give these dudes any life whatsoever. Because all it takes is a small thing to turn it around. Like Ja Morant is electric, and they don't have anybody to guard him. Jared Vanderbilt's doing a solid job, but he's still getting 30 points.
John Morant, but you got to understand something. People watch him on TV. Like I stood next to him a couple nights ago, just kind of trying to check him out. He's not big at all.
No.
I mean, I don't know if he's 6'2", 6'3". I don't know what they list him at. But when I say he's not big, I mean, he's big for a normal dude. But, you know, you're inside there against 7-footers or guys that are 6'8", 260. I mean, that was it LeBron that he went up over last night?
Yes.
And he wasn't able to dunk it, but he was able to almost dunk it, but he got the shot in. I mean, he freaking posterized LeBron.
But his hand is
last night.
hurt. Oh, wait, it's not.
You just don't want to
Crit
give
Schilling
these
suck.
dudes any. Wow, okay. Tinfoil. You just don't want to give these dudes any life. You don't want to give them another game. And especially with the Lakers' physical history, you don't want them to have to play another game. Because at some point in the next game, AD's going to be like, ouch.
Browner, we've seen 88 games so far this year in the Lakers. They give everybody life. That's what they do. They've been doing it all year long, my dude.
That's
like,
true.
The thing is,
wow, you called him my dude.
Yeah, man. Like if you watch the Lakers this year and you are surprised when they have a game like they did last night, you just haven't been really watching the Lakers this year. Like they've been pretty fortunate throughout the series that, you know, guys stepped up like yesterday, no one really stepped up. LeBron was out, and that was kind of it. You had guys that were terrible. Like Troy Brown Jr. is playing way too much.
Really got into
Beasley's
foul
playing
trouble
way
early.
too much. So
Mo Bamba apparently is doing something to somebody on the coaching staff that they won't even let him take a warm up off.
He's never contributed since he got here.
I know it looked.
And
I
he
know
did in
my
the beginning.
prediction of the Lakers losing this series looked bad when it was 3-1, but it's in there. It's in there. You let the Dragon out, they will be slayed. They will not be slayed, man. Like John Morant, ain't no one gonna guard him. They should really focus on Desmond Bane. Really,
That's it.
really, they
That's
should.
it.
Like Giannis scored 40 last night. No one cared. The Heat won. So I think that you just got to let the guys do what they're gonna do, and don't let the other guys beat you.
Because Jaren Jackson hasn't been good since game 1 either.
Yeah.
Maybe game 1 and game 2 he was good. He hasn't been good in the last 3 games.
If
So
this series goes back to Memphis, it's
Oh yeah,
it's over.
If the Lakers don't win this on Friday evening, and I think the game's at 7:00. If the Lakers don't win this on Friday, they're in huge trouble.
Yeah.
And by the way, let me tell you something.
And it's good news.
You gonna be in the house for that one?
Go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to tell you this. No, I'm not going back up there on Friday. I've done my 2 days this week. Hey, if the Lakers lose and they get knocked out of the playoffs, and somebody has the balls to ask LeBron James, LeBron, would you consider this season a failure? I would fully expect LeBron James to say, as a season, as a body of work, where we started, who our roster was, trades, injuries, play in, get to this point, losing 7 games. Yeah, in its totality, it's a failure. Can I find successes for you? Sure, I can. Getting rid of Russ, rebuilding this roster, getting to the play-in, winning the play-in, getting to the playoffs, taking a 3-1 lead. Those were little successes along the way. But in totality, or Alex, as some people like to say,
in the final analysis,
correct.
I just got to say, as a Laker fan, I don't have any expectations of this team winning a championship. Don't get it twisted what I'm about to get to. I don't think so. But as a Laker fan, I just want them to win this series so bad so these Westbrook people can just shut the hell up already. The Lakers have the best record in the West since trading him, and the Clippers are already at home. If the Lakers can just advance and be like, just shut up and look at what's happening, dude. The Lakers got way better without him. They've advanced in the play, and whatever happens, happens. Like, are they going to beat the Warriors? Probably not. I think the Warriors are going to win the whole thing. I said that before the playoffs started. But
if you're ever going to...
I just want it. I just want it, Scott.
If the NBA...
That's my championship. I'll hang a banner.
It'll be a success. Yeah. If you beat Memphis,
Better
it'll
than
be a
Russ.
success, not a failure.
Right.
If the NBA ever sets something up, this is the thing to set up. Make sure the Lakers win. Because Lakers?
Yeah. Lakers, Warriors.
My.
Forget
it.
My. Steph versus LeBron and Draymond versus AD. Klay Thompson against his dad's former team, blah, blah. I can come up with a million things. Yes, that is what the NBA wants, and that's what they're going to get, by the way. They are going to get Lakers and Warriors.
Clipper fans hate the Warriors because the Warriors have crushed them in the playoffs for about a decade now. Mm-hmm. And I've always said, the Warriors don't bother. They've never bothered me because the Lakers haven't been good during their dynasty. This would be like our first real experience. Yeah. I mean, we beat them in the play-in 2 years ago, but a series against the Warriors would be my first real experience against this Warriors dynasty. That would sound so fun, regardless of what happens. That sounds so fun because I know Clipper fans hate the hell out of Steph Curry and Draymond and Klay because they've crushed them for years. I'm down to get crushed. Let's go.
Oh God, that's funny. Hey, earlier today, guys, I went to the doctor and I got a physical, and and remember I told you that I got the
what
shingles
does a physical
shot?
consist of in 2023?
Okay, good question.
You're more than 50.
No, but good question. You ready? Yeah. No longer does the doctor perform a rectal
finger in the butt.
No more.
Oh man.
Doctor says that the blood work tells them as much about the prostate than the finger does.
Okay.
So they never had to go in there in the first place.
So so for all these years, and by the way, this is a new doctor, by the way, this gentleman. I've always had The same doctor, 25 years, this guy.
Maybe
He's a brand new doctor.
maybe that was just his preferred method of checking.
Brother, let me tell you something.
dude.
No doubt. And I'll tell you right now, thank God this guy didn't get me today, because I was like, I had coffee.
No. Stop. No.
My stomach was kind of hurting a
Are you
little
healthy?
bit. You know?
What was the end result of the physical?
You all right? You
What was
dying?
the end result?
all right.
Wait,
No,
was the
boy.
physical a
No,
failure?
God, no.
I'm gonna say I'll take it as a success, although not everything was perfect.
Oh,
I'm
man.
still walking around. All right, let me do this. Coming up, haven't talked to any Padres, although they played earlier. And there's a college football story
Talk
that's
about
on
the
my mind.
Lions.
What?
Yeah, Padres are Lions.
All right, hold on. We'll get to all this coming up. Stick around.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and YurView, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Murray Lampert now brings architectural and interior design to a whole new level for your remodel, ADU, or whole house build.
We're truly a team at Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, and we don't take that lightly.
Visit murraylampert.com.
Welcome to the Super Dentists, where kids are the center of our universe. Serving San Diego for over 25 years, the Super Dentists offer the newest dental technologies to provide safe and comfortable treatments for the entire family. We've reimagined the entire dental experience by creating a fun and engaging atmosphere featuring our heroic dentists and award-winning super crew. Book your appointment now. Extended hours and Saturday appointments available. Call or text 855-GO-SUPER or visit thesuperdentist.com.
Since 1971, the LGBTQ Center OC has been a pillar of the Orange County community, proudly empowering and advocating for the queer individuals and families who need our support. We've sustained a safe space for the community for more than 50 years and continue to grow the wealth of resources that the people of Orange County rely on. It's true that it gets better. Until it does, the LGBTQ Center OC is here, and we've got you.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
If you're going to count yourself as a fan of this radio station, you'll need to continuously ask yourself one basic question. Am I listening enough? Pro tip, wives are not a good source for input on this. This is the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
For many consumers, sleeping at night should be an easy experience. For many, it's not. There are a number of reasons for that, most notably those that suffer from acid reflux or heartburn. There are also many individuals dealing with various pains or ailments. Medcline is a sleep solution company with our goal to allow people to have a healthy and peaceful night's sleep. And we do that with our therapeutic side sleeping systems. Our patented, clinically studied Medcline relief systems are designed to place an adult in an elevated side sleeping position, which can help them reduce the symptoms or issues they're dealing with. Medcline systems are registered with the FDA, and as a medical product, Medcline systems are qualified for use with FSA and HSA funds. For anyone looking for more information, you can visit medcline.com/sleepbetter.
Welcome to the Super Dentists, where kids are the center of our universe. Serving San Diego for over 25 years, the Super Dentists offer the newest dental technologies to provide safe and comfortable treatments for the entire family. We've reimagined the entire dental experience by creating a fun and engaging atmosphere featuring our heroic dentists and award-winning super crew. Book your appointment now. Extended hours and Saturday appointments available. Call or text 855-GO-SUPER or visit thesuperdentist.com.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.